morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee with KPP Live, the show that's dedicated to providing you with advice for life so that you can live richly and work towards the life that you've earned. My name's Kyle Roy. I'm an investment advisor representative with Kentucky Planning Partners. And in today's show, I want to talk briefly about technology and the impacts that it can have on investing. And I want you to take a moment and think about the worst computer that you ever used. The worst computer you ever used was probably the first computer that you ever used. And technically, I guess not technically speaking, I don't know. But if you think back, some of you watching this video may have actually used a typewriter. I remember using a typewriter, and I more so remember using a word processor. I remember when the internet came about and we had AOL and we heard that god-awful noise as we tried to connect to the internet. And I think back on how far we've come and the impacts that the growth of technology and the acceleration that we've seen in technology can have on your investment goals. Because what's fascinating is that this phone that you hold in your hand is probably going to be the worst phone that your children or your grandchildren use. Rather, it's the worst computer that your children or grandchildren are going to use. This, believe it or not, is the equivalent of what a typewriter or word processor was to us. It's mind-blowing. And if we think about what this little device, the smartphone, can do, it's extraordinary. For instance, when it comes to investing, 20 or 30 years ago, if there was a incident overseas, a riot, or if canal routes or trade routes were blocked, we'd probably hear about it at the earliest the day after the event occurred, and we hear from that through our local newspapers or our national newspaper sources, or maybe on TV that evening, and we'd get tidbits of what happened. So let's say if there was a riot or a government that was overthrown in the Middle East, we'd get tidbits of what the evening news would tell us, or we'd read about it in the paper. Now, though, with this technology, if something like that occurs, we could get live updates from people that are there, boots on the ground, via news sources like Twitter or Facebook or live events and things like that. And what's important to know and understand about the speed with which that information travels is that not only can you learn about these things overseas, and we as human beings can learn about it immediately as it's taking place, but with regard to our investment accounts, we also are given the opportunity to act on it. If you have an online trading account, you, God forbid, could be driving down the road, listening or looking at a news feed that pops up on your phone and make active trades in your investment accounts on that. Now, that might be good. We don't want to undercut the speed with which information can travel because it's an extraordinary opportunity to connect with our fellow man. But from an investing standpoint, it could really be disruptive to your long-term goals because we know that your emotions are really the worst enemy for your investment strategy and your long-term investment objectives. Because when you're making long-term investment decisions, generally you want to be working with a financial advisor or yourself, do your research and make sure those decisions are aligned with your long-term goals and have long-term or milestones that you can hit to be able to execute certain strategies so that the likelihood of your plan coming to fruition occurs. If you succumb to the data feed that you can get from short-term information and let your emotions get a hold of you and then trade on those emotions, you could miss out on tremendous gains in your portfolio. Especially in the last several months, since November of 2021 to today in mid-February of 2022, we've seen a pullback in the market. Some markets have pulled back more than others. Some individual investments have pulled back even more than the general markets. And if you're trading, if you're selling low on short-term news, it's important to know and understand that historically, the best days returns in the markets occur almost immediately after the worst performing days in the markets. So being able to remove yourself from the news media or having some discipline or maybe some accountability, working with a financial advisor, for instance, could give you that level of accountability so you don't let the emotions of short-term market movements help have you or create the risk that you're going to make wrong decisions in the short term that could affect your long-term goals and objectives. So this little device, although it is an incredible tool, a miracle of modern man, and to think about how far we've come since the days of the typewriter and the word processor, this has created so many blessings and interconnected moments that we've been able to share with people. But when it comes to making short-term decisions on your investment portfolio, this literally could be a horrible anchor that could pull you back and pull you away from your ability to reach your long-term goals and objectives. So remember that. Don't let short-term noise affect your decision making. Always have a long-term plan with whatever investment strategy you have. And if you'd like any help or would need any guidance with executing a plan, give us a call at Kentucky Planning Partners. We are taking on new clients. Our phone number is 502-394-0400. We are located on the heart of Louisville's east side on the corner of Hurstbourne Lane and Shelbyville Road. And as you can see behind me, we tout that it's the best view in Louisville, and I'm glad to share it with you today. So on behalf of everybody here at KPP, thank you for watching. I hope you have a great week. Look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.